Hello everyone, welcome to News Extra, and school literally just around the corner for a vast majority of students across the Panhandle. Gering, no exception, and joining me today I have Gering High School's new principal, Rocky Schneider, along with the Dean of Students for the school, Mario Chavez. Thank you very much for joining us today on News Extra.
Thanks for having us.
Now, Rocky, this is obviously some new territory for you. First of all, you've got what basically is not quite a brand new school to jump into with both feet coming up, but pretty close to it. It's kind of a neat situation for you with the school.
Definitely. I'm brand new here. We moved down here about May 24th with my wife and 3 kids. I have 2 kids that are going to be joining the district. I can tell you in that short time, I've definitely seen evidence, and I'm very grateful that I'm in a district that has a community that supports education, as evidenced by the bond and basically a brand new high school, some great facilities to really make an impact on kids, and I think it'll be a lasting impact and even have ripple effects out into the community for a long time. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, you've only had a few months, not with the full staff, because the teachers obviously have been out doing what they do during the summers. But when it comes to administrative staff and district staff, you've had interactions with them for a few months.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that going forward? And of course, this week we have the teachers ramping things up and getting ready for the start of school on Friday.
Tell you what, I've been very, very impressed by the people I've met, and administration staff and people that are working for the district. It's very evident when you talk to them. They're talented. They know what they're doing. Just a great bunch of people. They're positive. Can't wait to grow with them professionally.
Yeah, and of course, school starting up on Friday. It's August. Oh gosh, 16th. I have to remember the date. It's the 16th when the kids go back to classes in the Gering School District. Of course, Scottsbluff going to be the day before that. And of course, one of the things with Gering High School is the expansion, adding the freshmen into that situation, along with the expansion, if you will, of the Career Academy, which there's the Pathways system that's being set up by Gering. And we'll be back on News Extra in a moment to talk with both Rocky and Mario about that. And we're back on News Extra, and I'm joined by Gering High School's principal, Rocky Schneider, as well as Dean of Students, Mario Chavez. Thank you very much for joining us again today on News Extra. Of course, we've been talking a little bit about the start of school coming up here this coming Friday. One of the things at the high school specifically is kind of an expansion, if you will, of the Career Academy through the Pathways system. And Mario, explain a little bit what people are going to see, especially the students, as the year progresses.
Sure. Well, we just kind of looked at where we were at last year, and some of the pathways or career academies had already kind of been set up at Gering, and it was just going through a formalized process and systematically putting them together and packaging them the correct way. We worked through the fall and spring and the summer last school year getting that ready. Had a good marketing campaign out to the parents and students. So this year is just kind of pushing the students in there, and the counseling department's going to aid us in helping kind of silo those kids in those pathways and help them kind of choose their pathway route that they're going to continue on with at Gering High.
Okay, and there's right now 4 different areas of emphasis, if you will:
Yes.
business, marketing, and management, health sciences, skilled and technical trades,
Yes.
which I know that's something that in a lot of schools has been lacking.
Yes.
In the recent past, as well as communication arts and technology. And of course, developing these, there's even more coming up down the pipe.
That's correct. We're also in the process of evaluating our pathways and looking at other ways we can partner with other organizations in our community. Ag's a big one, especially in our area in Gering, where majority of the land is agriculture based. So looking at launching an ag program, hopefully here in the near future, and also looking at education. Education is another piece with teacher shortages and just attracting talent, trying to keep our own talent in Gering, and growing our own and bringing them back to the high school.
Sure.
So.
And now, it used to be that you wouldn't worry about kids starting to put an emphasis on one area or another until later on in their educational career, usually post-secondary and in college.
Yes.
Now the trend is kind of reversing backwards and showing some of that specialization, if you will, which isn't quite the correct term.
Yes.
Explain what parents and the kids have, what their reaction has been to having these types of offerings.
It's been a very positive reaction. I think parents are excited, students are excited. The capability of our partnership growing with WNCC is also kind of blossomed, and we're going to be able to offer more dual credit and more certifications. So those things will be coming down the pipeline. You know, OSHA certifications, hazmat, ServSafe, BNA. You know, you need to look at those things. Those are things that kids can take when they graduate and get into the work field right away. So last year, our students took an equivalent of 1,056 credit hours. Mm-hmm. We definitely, as a district and as a system, are looking at ways we can offer more dual credit to our students. So that's another positive. I think parents are really looking at that aspect and trying to get college credit at a cheaper rate.
Yeah, and partnering up with WNCC to be able to offer those dual credit type of courses and get the kids farther advanced earlier to help them get into the workplace. Now, Rocky, you've had experience in other school districts with similar things, correct? Mm-hmm. What kind of impact have you seen with parents and students in those districts?
You know, one of the things that, when kids are more engaged when they see relevancy in what they're doing, and Career Academies gives them that relevancy. Kids can see themselves using those skills and that information that they get in those classes down the road. So with that said, you know, with our program, I would say one of the great things about what we're going to do here at Gering High School is we're going to have flexibility, meaning kids will have the ability, if they get into something, they will have the flexibility to learn what they don't want to be in as well, which is just as important when you're talking about young kids. You know, I will also say there's still that commitment to the core, even though we are going to have some specificity in regards to these skills. We're going to have that well-rounded core of English, math, science, social studies, and the reason for that, and the reason we're going to have the emphasis on that is we got to have well-rounded kids, because it's very rare these days that people start in the same job and retire in the same job. Yeah. I heard a stat this summer, something to the effect that kids can this generation can plan on maybe 16 different job changes, career changes. Yes. So we've got to have those core skills so that they're able to adapt to a changing economy and just changing demands.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, in the case of Gering High School, the opportunity to branch out a little bit for the students in a new space that's meant to be conducive to that type of learning environment.
Yes.
Exactly. And we have great facilities there. Again, I'm very grateful for being in the community and the fact that they passed the bond to do that. But those new facilities, those are going to give us opportunity to do some very good things for these kids.
Yeah, some very exciting things going on in the Gering Public School District, especially at Gering High School with the career pathways, as well as the renovated high school building itself. Rocky, Mario, thank you very much for joining us on News Extra today.
Thank you for having us, and thank you for allowing us to get the good word out.